Hey everyone, it's Sunny Slaughter. I just finished wrapping up my special segment that I had spoken about earlier for one of the networks. I appreciate the host inviting me to talk about this very important subject. So I won't tell you which network yet. I'll wait till it is cleaned up and edited and it comes out. But I will tell you this. Our topic was on the recent search and seizure of music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. I am a globally recognized human trafficking expert, and I don't take the work or say it lightly. I have worked on state legislation, national policy. Uh, I have worked on litigation cases, inside them, outside on the prosecution and defense side. I have worked on writing and being a consultant on developing international protocols for victim services. This work is what I do. As a law enforcement and litigation expert, I don't play games with anybody that does this work, whether they are in law enforcement on the litigation side or purport to do victim services. I take this work seriously, I always have. I work on behalf of victims. I have worked across more measures of this issue than most people have. I have worked on sex trafficking, labor trafficking, discussed organ trafficking, and have worked with victims directly and survivors, with children, actual children, not people saying they're working with children, but actual children and adults. This is a horrific crime, but as it relates to Sean Diddy Combs, what I want to say is I recently said in another interview that this is happening, and by that I mean this investigation has been underway, is still going on, and this case that they are building, the information that they are gathering, that is what is happening. Now, you'll hear me say during the interview that I believe that there will be an arrest based on the information available in the public. But I do want to be clear about something. Whether or not there is or not an arrest, he has the presumption of innocence. The search and seizure on his home does not make him guilty. The investigation does not make him guilty. The allegations do not make him guilty. A part of the process and what you are seeing right now is the federal government does not do these type of investigations, does not execute multi-jurisdictional warrants without substantive probable cause. And that did not just come from a civil complaint and allegations and information from Cassie or others. I'll say this, where there is smoke, you can often find fire. But when you think about it, before you see the smoke, you smell something. And that is how these operations often unfold. It was not just Homeland Security. It was Homeland Security Investigations. HSI is a particular division unit that specializes in these cases. But this is a multi-law enforcement and jurisdictional operation. U.S. Attorney's Office, FBI, HSI, local law enforcement, state, others, investigators, people who do what they do. They are not talking, they are not operating out in the open. They've got their heads down and they are doing the work that they do. The investigations take long and you want them to. Somebody says, well, this has been a long time. Absolutely. You want it to be a long time because it is required that they cross every T, dot every I, and before they executed that warrant, I want you to think about they had to have probable cause, but not just probable cause, but probable cause that was weighted in two separate jurisdictions. That means there was more eyes on this than it would be in one location. Not to say that there are not a lot of eyes on it. Sean Diddy Combs has some of the best legal counsel. The best. He's got the best. He can afford the best, and they are very good at what they do. They have longevity. They understand how federal operations work because one of them was formerly with the federal government. Okay? So they are going to protect their client, but more importantly, the federal government in the operation and execution of their work is going to try to protect the public. Everyone who is talking about it, who is close to it, I would suggest that you get your own legal counsel and stop talking. People who are silent, they are doing the best thing possible for themselves. Stop talking. All of this, you ain't never seen, and this was heavy-handed. I understand the mother's concerns. She is a mother. She was acting like a mother. Her reaction was normal. Her emotions are normal. But this is happening, and this is the process, and what they did based on what I know in the public. That's how it is. I have been hired on cases like this on the defense side to review every single thing and trust and believe. If it ain't right, I don't care who it is. I'm going to let you know it's not right. But these cases are too important. There's criminal liability and exposure for a lot of people. There are a lot of victims. And I also want you to prepare yourself as the public for the individuals who will get deals for their cooperation. And in some of those deals, some of the victims will not be satisfied. And they have a right to still feel harmed. People who have been victims of traffickers and their co-conspirators have a right to still feel harmed. So, with that being said, once my special segment is released, I am going to put together, along with my team, we've been talking about it, a segment, and I will go live to talk more about human trafficking. But none of this foolishness that some people are talking about. I don't have to scream. I don't have to shout. When you're the expert, you just do what you do, and that's what I do. I do what I do because I've been doing it. I don't have to convince you of anything. You just have to pay close attention. Listen, hear, and listen and hear and pay attention. That's it. So, this is Sunny Slaughter. Stay tuned.